It was a sunny afternoon in Othaya, the crowd bustling, the air tense, when Deputy President Kithure Kindiki stood to pick the mic. Everything changed. The crowd started to chant, "WANTAM, WANTAM." But why was Kindiki heckled in President Kibaki's backyard? Is it that people from the mountain region are no longer supporting the Kenya Kwanza government? Today, in Inside Kenyan Politics, we want to break it down bit by bit. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification bell, so whenever we upload any video, you'll be the first one to watch. I want you to watch the following video and tell me your views.
Watu wa Othaya pia nyinyi tumewa-add kwa WhatsApp group. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki ameenda kwa mkutano kule Othaya, wakaanza kushout "WANTAM, WANTAM, WANTAM, WANTAM." Hamtaki jokes.
Sometimes it's disappointing to listen to people who are leaders, people who went to school, but who, instead of addressing the question on the table, twist things to suit a particular narrative. And I'm referring to my friend Jared here. There were chants of "WANTAM" by ordinary wananchi in Nyeri. But Jared, takes this and twists it. And even, in fact, says it was a response to the rouse welcome that Rudo received in Homa Bay. I mean, it's sad, Trevor. I mean, listening to a sober mind like Mukwanja here, addressing the issues, that is what should be looked at. What could have led these Kenyans, because Rigathi Gachagua was not anywhere near there, what would have led these Kenyans into those chants? And I liked Mukwanja's, approach. One, it is, Kenyans are continuously feeling suppressed. And the case of Jerry is the latest in point. I mean, that you just establish a platform for Kenyans to air their views regarding the Finance Bill 2025, and then you are arrested for having committed no crime at all, showing that there is intolerance on the part of government. And then who actually was the chief guest in this particular event? It was Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. But remember, this was Nyeri, and the residents there, I'm just suspecting, they are human beings. They have feelings. I mean, this Professor Kindiki, how did he come to office? It was through some very crude means, of having somebody impeached just to get to the to office. And it is, I don't like discussing the professor because he's a good man, but he played a very major role in the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. And Kenyans are informed. And so when you come to us and you're telling us you have come to empower us, giving us some goodies, giving young men some 500 Kenya shillings to go and again, that illicit brews are back to the region. In other regions you are doing, the government is doing real empowerment. But in our region, you are bringing us beans, you are bringing us rice, and you are giving young men 500 Kenya shillings to just go and waste themselves, by taking alcohol. And then, so people, are feeling that these are fake empowerment programs, and somebody is taking advantage of them. People are very frustrated that the National Assembly last week could suspend important business to insult, not to discuss Rigathi Gachagua, to just insult Rigathi Gachagua. And you can listening to Jared, you can of course know where he's coming from. Who led this particular insult session? It was none other than Junet Mohammed. the minority leader. And so when you listen to Jared here, instead of addressing real issues, coming and twisting things, you get very sad. So the other thing that, of course, makes Mount Kenya very, very, very mad, even with the leaders and, of course, those that were in that meeting, the local leaders that were in that meeting, are the leaders who voted no. Why are people from that particular region feeling very frustrated? Because why do you elect an MP, Trevor? And Jared is here. What is the job description of a member of parliament? It is to represent, to legislate, to oversight. The MPs who voted yes to the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua ignored the voice of the people, did not represent the people in that region. Because there was that, public engagement. Yeah. Supposedly to collect views. And people were feeling very strongly that they did not want the Rigathi Gachagua impeached. But what did the MPs do? They decided to represent William Ruto and not the people. And these people, they are human beings, they have feelings, they are feeling frustrated. Okay. When then this group comes and they are telling you that they're empowering you, they have to get very frustrated. Now, let me tell Jared and assure him that the people of Mount Kenya, and I'm not here just to talk about Mount Kenya, it's because this incident happened in Nyeri, which is in Mount Kenya, have no problem, and I don't know how many times we need to repeat this. We have no problem with Nyanza or ODM supporting Ruto. Nobody has ever complained. And if there is anyone in my team that has ever complained that ODM is supporting William Ruto, let Jared bring it to the table. I do not know why the leaders from Nyanza are fighting us. We do not fight them. We are not, they have a right to associate with Ruto. The decision will be made by Kenyans. Okay. And there has been some opinion polls that were made public last week. And the percentage of people who do not support the broad-based government, it was there for everybody to see. So please, Jared, don't ever think that whatever happens in Mount Kenya is informed by however Ruto is treated in Nyanza. We have no problem with that. Okay. We know that when somebody is rejected at home, they go to Nyanza to be nursed. Uhuru was happiest in his second term. The happiest moments would be found in Nyanza. And because, now that Jared has said that, and I don't I respect people, and I respect Raila Amolo Odinga a lot. But it is true. When you are rejected at home from your former, support base, you run to Nyanza. And that is where you get comfort. So because Nyanza has decided to be the comforter of the reject, we have no problem with that.
Who is the
so please,
who is the reject?
Please.
Who is the reject?
But Uhuru was rejected at home. That is why he used to come to be nursed. That is what Nyanza is doing for Ruto. If you have chosen that to be the cause, we have no problem with that. Okay. We do not complain. But please, Jared, Trevor. Trevor, Jared has said very many things, including saying that these must have been hired goons. Yeah. Who hired those that shouted Ruto must go in Gusii Stadium when Raila Amolo Odinga visited that place? You remember that match that was in, was it City Stadium? Again, who hired the people that were saying Ruto must go there? Who hired the person who threw a shoe at Ruto in Migori? Was it Wamunyoro? Jared can do better than this. And when he says that Rigathi Gachagua called Mount Kenya leaders foolish, and he says that he called them that just because they hold a different opinion, Jared is ignoring the context. Rigathi Gachagua said why he thought that these leaders were not wise. Because young men had been hired to block his way to attack a church. And these are people who are given money. And he said leaders from the region who are given money by Ruto to come and rock the region, to hire young men, pay them little money, and to attack even churches, women and children. Nobody doesn't know what happened in Kasarani again. And that is why he said he thought they were not very wise. Okay. And who is that wise person who ignores, an elected leader, who ignores the pleas of his people and represents President Ruto instead of representing his people.
Okay.
I mean, is that wisdom?
Right.
And I mean, if I get more time,
Yeah, you will.
I mean, we will.
I'm adversely mentioned. I'm adversely